Good evening, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated Journato evening headlines on April 27, 2022. Zelensky aide says explosions in Russia are karma and payback for Ukraine war. The Independent, destruction in Russian border regions is karma, says Ukraine. The Times, Russian attacks continue on Mariupol, say Ukraine, BBC News. BBC News, Russia reports blasts in south that Ukraine calls payback for invasion. Reuters, karma is a cruel thing, Zelensky advisor on blasts in Russia. COVID-19, is China's Shanghai lockdown an overreaction? Sky News, China's COVID booster campaign slows as staff redirected to mass testing. Financial Times, China's COVID booster campaign falters as staff redirected to mass testing. Germany evicting Afghan refugees to accommodate people fleeing Ukraine. Right back at you, the Ugandan designer returning the West's cast-offs. The Guardian, meet the Ugandan designer returning second-hand rags back to the West. Berlin cools pools in political statement against Russian gas. Ex-Marine Trevor Reed freed from jail in dramatic US-Russia prisoner swap. The Guardian, ex-US Marine released by Russia in surprise prison swap. The Telegraph, like you see in the movies, Trevor Reed's dad describes son's prisoner swap. CNN, Russia frees American prisoner Trevor Reed in return for drug smuggler. The Times, Trevor Reed and Konstantin Yaroshenko, who's who in high-stakes US-Russia prisoner swap. Republicans in Congress give McCarthy standing ovation for defense of leaked audio, live. The Guardian, Republicans applaud Kevin McCarthy after he defends Trump's resignation comments, report says. The Independent, hear McCarthy's response to leaked audio about Trump. CNN, opinion, no, Kevin McCarthy's leadership is not in peril. The Washington Post, opinion, the job Kevin McCarthy sold his soul for might elude him. Droughts in Somalia are partly our fault. We could at least let more migrants in. The Guardian, starvation could kill more children in Somalia than devastating 2011 famine. The Telegraph, climate change in Somalia brings death to an old way of life. Trump News Live, report slams $700 million COVID loan as McCarthy faces right-wing wrath. The Independent, Trump administration's COVID aid loan to trucking company scrutinized in probe. Bloomberg, Trump officials gave pandemic loan to trucking company despite objections. The New York Times, top Trump officials intervened to give $700 million national security loan to trucking company. The Independent, Trump officials Mnuchin and Esper overruled staff on loan to Yellow Corp. Massacre in Tadaman, how two academics hunted down a Syrian war criminal. The Guardian, a hidden war crime, footage sheds light on horrors of war in Syria, video explainer. Anti-Semitism, dramatic rise in 2021, Israeli report says. BBC, researchers, COVID-19, Israel-Gaza war fueled anti-Semitism. The Independent, civil rights group counts record tally of anti-Semitic incidents in U.S. The Guardian, anti-Semitic attacks in New York are at highest level in decades. Vladimir Putin's health under fresh scrutiny as video shows him shaking uncontrollably. The Independent, Vladimir Putin video fuels Parkinson's rumors as hand shakes uncontrollably while meeting Belarus leader. Daily Record, what's wrong with sickly Vladimir Putin? Evening Standard, the growing evidence that Vladimir Putin might have Parkinson's disease. Wales Online, Putin fuels Parkinson's rumors after appearing unsteady and fidgeting at event. Iran has not received £400 million agreed by UK at time of Zaghari Ratcliffe release. The Guardian, Iran has not received £400 million payment from UK agreed before Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe's release. Germany preparing for change of control at Rosneft refinery minister. Reuters, Germany ready to back EU ban on Russian oil if it's gradual. Bloomberg, Germany says Russia oil embargo would be manageable. Politico Europe, Germany aims to find alternative to Russian oil within days. Reuters, German minister says full embargo on Russian oil manageable. Lily Peters News, Live, suspect, 14, beat, strangled and raped 10-year-old court hears. The Independent, boy arrested in Lily Peters murder probe as cops reveal he wasn't a stranger to tragic 10-year-old. The Sun, girl, 10, found dead near walking trail a day after going missing. Metro.co.uk, tip line created as Chippewa Falls homicide investigation continues, no suspect in custody. WAOW, bond hearing for juvenile held in slaying of Wisconsin girl. Cigarette in cockpit caused EgyptAir passenger jet to crash, killing all on board, investigation finds. Sky News, pilots lit cockpit cigarette caused passenger plane to crash into sea, report claims. The Independent, pilot's cockpit cigarette sparked fire that brought down EgyptAir jet and killed 66. Myanmar junta sentences Aung San Suu Kyi to 5 years for corruption. The Guardian, Aung San Suu Kyi sentenced to 5 more years in prison. The Times, Myanmar's Aung San Suu Kyi found guilty on first corruption charge and sentenced to 5 years in prison. The Independent, Myanmar's Aung San Suu Kyi handed 5-year jail term for corruption. CNN, explainer, Suu Kyi's uphill battle in Myanmar junta's secretive courts. I know they're exciting, but calm down. Britain's love-hate affair with the e-scooter. Macron dodges tomatoes in post-election walkabout. The Guardian, watch, Emmanuel Macron's guards fend off tomato attack using £8,000 Kevlar umbrella. The Telegraph, tomatoes, a slap and lots of eggs, 5 times French protesters attacked Emmanuel Macron. Politico Europe, fruity near miss for Francis Macron, targeted by tomatoes. The Independent, Emmanuel Macron pelted with tomatoes during first trip since re-election. Microsoft discloses onslaught of Russian cyberattacks on Ukraine. Reuters, Russian hacking in Ukraine has been extensive and intertwined with military operations, Microsoft says. CNN, Russia uses cyberattacks in Ukraine to support military strikes, report finds. The New York Times, Ukraine News, Live, Russia carried out 37 major cyberattacks, Microsoft says. Ukraine war, what impact will Russia's decision to cut off gas to Poland and Bulgaria have on Europe? Sky News, Russia halts gas exports to Poland and Bulgaria amid war in Ukraine, BBC News. BBC News, Ukraine war, Russia trying to divide allies using gas, Poland. BBC, European gas prices soar after Gazprom halts supplies to Poland and Bulgaria. Financial Times, German utility giant says it can buy Russian gas without busting sanctions. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.